G'day and welcome back to episode 5 of SimWorld. Today, a few talking points. We're going to start on a new segment today. We'll call it Course of the Week. So Course of the Week, I'm going to do, in my opinion, the best course that has been released on GS Pro in the previous week. I can't check them all out. So look, if I don't agree with what you say, I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinions. But we're going to start Course of the Week. We've got Garmin R50, the update, my thoughts. I have put out a putting video. I've recorded also a update video. I'm going to give my thoughts on that. I'm going to be talking about the Pro 2 VX and others. There's been a mix-up in the SGT world, not on the actual simulator golf tour, but with the money matches. So the guy that runs the money matches, or the team that runs the money matches, has decided to ban OpenAPI launch monitors from competing in those events. And to be honest, that is totally understandable. That is, it's their thing, their prerogative, their product, so they can choose exactly what they want. And banning the OpenAPI launch monitors, it kind of makes sense because at the end of the day, those launch monitors using that OpenAPI interface can be hacked. It can be adjusted behind the scenes. I don't know how it works. People will basically hack into the OpenAPI interface and they can adjust things like ball flight. They can adjust things like speed and things like that. So fair enough, the OpenAPI launch monitors have been banned. Pro T is obviously one of those launch monitors that uses the OpenAPI interface. There's been a lot of talk of Pro T as well. With the ball flight, I've reached out to Pro T, so we'll get into all of that in this episode of SimWorld, and then I'll also have additional separate videos on it, but there's a lot to talk about. Also, we are going to do Q&A. So massive Q&A. As always, I'll be trying to answer as many questions as I can. The swing stick is too unfair, especially in money match. Absolutely. The swing stick, that's the thing. With OpenAPI, you're opening it up to any launch monitor that wants to create an interface. And the issue is you're going to have launch monitors like the Square Golf Launch Monitor that is incredible, but then you've got the swing stick, which, let's be honest, the swing stick, I was getting 200 miles an hour ball speed, and I wish I got that in real life. It's just not realistic. So the swing stick is unfair. I completely agree with what you're saying. Triple Bogey Golf, my boy, Ben, he has got a Pro T VX. I'm pumped. I'm super excited for him. I'm really glad that he got that. I was speaking to Dennis, and it's awesome to see Ben just grow and his channel grow. I'll always support Ben. He's supported me, and he's been really good to me as well. Even with these live streams, he's sent me videos on how to set it up and how to do it. So massive shout out to Ben from Triple Bogey Golf. I'll always be good friends with him. He's a great guy. So I fully respect Ben, and we kind of support each other. So it's fantastic. It's a good relationship. Okay, so we'll let people get in. I think there's 16 people at the moment. Definitely chime in the comments. How does the video look? How does the audio sound, as always? Let's start off, I guess, while the comments are quite thin, let's start off with the Garmin R50 with the update. So we've had an update from the Garmin R50. Now, it 100% has fixed putting. 100% is fixed putting. But there is a but. Now, on short putts, I've just played the Tips Tour round with the iMini. So the iMini's back. I've played the Tips Tour round with the iMini. I've compared it to my Pro T, my overhead launch monitor. I've compared it to the iMini, the GC3, and I'm talking about the Garmin R50 on shorter putts. And I had a lot of comments saying, you know, you did pull that putt, you did push it. Visually, you can see it on the ground. I think what people were seeing was actually the influence that my turf is having over the roll of the ball. I don't think it came off the putter face 2.3 degrees left. So I think the actual ball roll, yes, it can deflect and hit things on my putting mat and end up being that far offline. But what I am talking about is the actual horizontal launch angle off the putter face. And for me, the Garmin R50, although it is incredibly accurate now at calculating the ball, I think potentially those points, or however it does it, they're too far apart, and it's been influenced by the roll over the turf. What I think a lot of other launch monitors are doing like I literally just played a tips tour round with the iMini. I was inside half a degree left and right on every single putt. So I think launch monitors like this are actually calculating the horizontal launch straight off the face. Whereas I believe, and look, I've got to give the Garmin R50 back. Later today, I'm driving it to Daniel, the guy who let me borrow it. Massive shout out to Daniel. I really appreciate it. If Garmin is watching this, or if Garmin sees it, or if people want to send Garmin messages or whatever, I would love to speak to them, and I'd love to try and help them with the putting, because the Garmin R50 is incredible. The actual data you get from it, you're getting face to path, you're getting all these metrics. It looks like a quality product. It feels like a quality product, but with putting, I do think there's room for improvement. I do. On the short putts. The long putts, as soon as the ball's traveling quicker over the turf, the horizontal launch angle is better, which really makes me believe that the turf is having an influence over the horizontal launch angle, when horizontal launch angle should be coming directly off the face. It shouldn't be influenced by the turf. I'll leave it at that. Okay, that was me ranting. I hope you enjoyed my TED Talk. Mark saying, you and Ben are the best golf people on YouTube. Thanks for that, Mark. I really appreciate that. And I do agree. Ben is, he's fantastic as well. His videos, he's so good with computers. And so he really gets into the nuts and bolts with, you know, the computer side of the house. I think my expertise is more with launch monitors. And then I basically asked Ben to help me with my computer. What about the other updates from the Garmin R50? So I did do a video. I filmed 3 videos that I'm going to release over the hopefully next week or 2 weeks. It's definitely improved in Home Tier Hero. Home Tier Hero now has a few little features, like you can skip flyovers, you can recenter your screen. It hasn't changed the pace of the greens in Home Tier Hero. So Home Tier Hero Stimp 12 is still Stimp 8, in my opinion. Apart from that, bug fixes and things like that are fantastic. I will say my connection to GS Pro is solid now with the Garmin R50. Absolutely zero issues with connections, so that's really good to see. They've fixed that. Connections with Awesome Golf. I have filmed an Awesome Golf video, and I've got to say, the Awesome Golf app has gotten even better. Like, I haven't used it a lot recently. My kids have used it. Awesome Golf, kick and goals. I mean, it's a fantastic application. So, but I did have a couple of dropouts when I used Awesome Golf. So still room for improvement, but so far the Garmin R50, it's a thumbs up. Like, you can use it with horizontal launch assist in GS Pro, no issues. I mean, it's fantastic. Right, let's, I might have missed a few comments, so I'm gonna go up. Top Gun Bass, good evening, guys. Good to see you again, mate. I love seeing the same names pop up in the chat. It's really cool to see. Golf Kata says, I finished my sim room based on R50. Seems very accurate. My yardages are close to on course. My wife's distances are way short. Been trying to figure out why. It's just psychological or some calibration. Yeah. So I will say, actually, Garmin R50, I did notice in the last round I played with it, my wedges potentially were coming up a few yards short. And in Awesome Golf, it's after I used Awesome Golf, the yardages were spot on. I honestly think the algorithm that the Garmin R50 is using, now, raw metrics, the actual ball speed, all the raw metrics, horizontal launch angle, vertical launch angle, spin, all those are amazing. So if you hook it up to GS Pro, you'll have good carry yardages. Hook it up to Awesome Golf, you'll have good carry yardages. I still think the Garmin Golf app shortchanges you a couple of yards. And that's even from the R10 days. So I think the actual physics and the algorithm they're using, it definitely shortchanges you a couple of yards, in my opinion. Try Awesome Golf, Golf Kata. Try Awesome Golf. You get a 14-day free trial. See if the yardages are good in that application. But what you'll find is playing golf indoors, very psychological. It is extremely psychological. Even me, like, it does, I'll hit the roof once and I'll be, the next hour or two, I'll have to try and work up to the same speed. I nailed the roof the other day. Let me get my driver. Like, I absolutely nailed it. You can probably see, let me hold this up. That's the Battle Scars, but that new one right there, absolutely nailed the roof the other day. And that took me a good 18 holes to psychologically recover. Okay. I have, in exciting news, I've put a wall up in my garage now. So I wasn't able to play golf for about a week. I put this wall up, and I've got to say, it's made a massive difference for noise outside. I've still got to finish it. I've mounted my mirror on it. I've got my 2 swing cameras, Cam 2 and my slow motion swing camera mounted. So I have a physical wall in my garage. So hopefully I'll be able to practice at night, fingers crossed. All right, let me scroll up. If I don't get to your comments, just ask it again. I do apologize. Spike's in the chat. Good to see you, mate. What else we got? We got Mark. I had a Skytrack and then went to Skytrack Plus. Sorry to hear that. No, I'm kidding. It started having a lot of misreads and I wanted better club data. So I jumped to the R50 when it came out. Now I'm having some second thoughts. So Mark, honestly, the Garmin R50, it's early days. It's going to get better and better. Like I said, for me, club data, ball data was fantastic. Maybe swing path with my wedges was a bit too far in to out, but I really do think the Garmin R50 is an amazing unit. I wouldn't, like, Home Tier Hero for me is fun to play courses that I haven't played before or courses that aren't on GS Pro. So for instance, I played the club at Falcon Point. So I grew up, I spent 7 years of my life in Katy, Texas. And I used to go to the club at Falcon Point every single day and play golf. That course is never going to come to GS Pro. Let's be real, no one's going to make Falcon Point on GS Pro. So to be able to just play Home Tier Hero and just to be able to go out there and play a course that used to mean everything to me, it's just amazing. So I love it. But in saying that, hook your Garmin R50 up to GS Pro, hook it up to Awesome Golf. The experience is actually amazing. It is a really good experience. Spike's getting a shout out. Spike has sent me one of his stands for the square. So I'm going to check out that soon as it gets here. So hopefully it gets here quick. And then I'll be checking out the stand from Spike. Okay, I'm going to butcher your name, and I apologize for this. Simranjeet has asked, wanted to get your thoughts on EML setup. Do you prioritize making sure the launch monitor is square to the target, or do you prioritize making sure the target aim line in the software is parallel to the target? Great question. So I literally just did this with my iMini. Laser, I put my laser down on the ground, and I get I've got a line on my mat that I actually use to calibrate my Pro T, also all my launch monitors. I've got a line on my mat. It is essentially parallel to the side of my mat. I put my laser directly over that line, and then I get 2 golf balls, and I put the forward ball in position first, and I get it right through the actual number 2 of the golf ball, or the number 3. So this is a number 3. So I'll get the laser line running right through that number 3 perfectly, and I'll put that ball forward. Then I'll put the second ball in, and I'll get the laser line running perfectly through that. I'll then turn the laser off, and I'll go into alignment mode, and I'll do the auto align, I think it's called. I'll hit auto align, it'll calibrate, and it'll do its adjustment. I personally, a little bit OCD, I will move the unit slightly until it reads 0.0. You don't need to do this, but I like doing that. So that's what I do, because I want my launch monitor to sit. What's funny is when you do it, the iMini actually, my iMini anyway, is tilted slightly. It's not perfectly straight, so it's slightly tilted. So yeah, go figure. I think they potentially do that for the club data, but so yeah, I like to have it as 0.0, and I'll keep making micro adjustments until it reads 0.0. The good thing is with the iMini is the alignment mode is fantastic. So if you put it down and it measures 0.2 right, if you go back into alignment mode, it will get 0.2 right again. It is very good. Not like the Garmin where it jumps around a bit. But you don't have to. That's what I do though. Samranjeet saying, when I use the target line in software, the unit seems to sit open to target. Yes, so does mine. So I think with these launch monitors, club data is quite hard to get. So I think it's actually easier for them to have the unit sitting slightly skewed to actually get club data, accurate club data. So yes, mine does the exact same. It is, if I physically look at this unit now, it looks like it's pointing further to the right, but I keep going into the alignment until it reads 0.0. So that's what I do. All the data now with the iMini is just unreal, by the way. It is performing, like it is seriously performing. Tomat, good to see you, mate. It's always good to see, you know, names in the chat that I've seen before. Tomat said, I line my iMini light parallel to the target and check it by putting on Joe's range and look at the HLA at 0 on my shots, putts with assist off. Yeah, that's another way of doing it. Just double checking, going out to the range, hitting a few putts. Golf Catter said, oh, it was the coolest thing when I loaded up a childhood course that's 2,800 miles away. And she walked in the room for the first time and said, yeah, that is cool. I mean, I'm literally in Australia, which is halfway across the world. So to be able to play Falcon Point and just, I knew the course. I was like, this is, you know, before I went to the next hole, I was like, next hole, par 3, I'm going to hit 9-9. I grab my 9-9, Garmin does its fly over, and I hit the shot. It's just, yeah, it's unreal. Sim. Okay, cool. That makes it a lot easier for me. Thank you, Sim. Right. Spike. It was in Melbourne yesterday. Lovely. So the stand from Spike is on its way. It's in Melbourne. That's exciting. So that is 8 or 9 hour drive from me. So it should be here pretty quick. What's my ceiling height, Mike? It is 2.7 meters, which let me get you it in feet. I think it's about 9 feet. 2.7. It is 8 feet, 10.2 inches. So there you go. Pretty low. I showed this in an episode before. I've cut a section of my roof out. I do have a structural beam though that runs directly through my cutout. So I've got a beam in there, which is really annoying. I'm not that handy, so I didn't want to put in another beam and take that one out and mess around. So I've got 2 separate cavities essentially in my wall. John V, thanks for the support, mate. All the members, I really appreciate the support from the members. It means a lot to me. I'm trying to grow the memberships and to see people joining up. I think I've got 60 members now on the channel. That's unreal. To me, that is... it means a lot. It means a lot to have that support. I really appreciate it. John V says, awesome channel. I'm switching from the R10 to square and curious to know you like your mat and it's good for putting from. I currently have a softer mat that causes the ball to wander. Yes. So I made my own mat. I've got videos on this, but I'm at AL3 now. I think I'm at revision 3 or 4. And yeah, I love it. I've got new putting turf that is insanely durable. I've got, in the new ones that I'm sending out to people, I've made one for Jez, and I'm so sorry, Jez. I need to get some cardboard to send this thing. The new version, I've actually taken away the Velcro because the replaceable pads were a good idea, but it's just in execution, it's so hard and it adds a lot of cost. So I've taken away the Velcro. And this turf is pretty durable now, so I can just put it on. And what I do is I hit from the first half, I'll hit from that, wear that bit out, and then I'll flip it around and I'll use the other half. So yes, I definitely love the mat. Another option is from, I don't know where you are, John. Are you in Australia or are you in America? Because the Easy Turf, the camo turf from Bayside, you can get it in the States. That stuff is so durable. And you can actually putt off it, and it's so thick, it's so dense that you can putt off it. But if you hit down on the ball, if you've got you know, any elbows like me that just can't take hitting down on something hard, then building your own is probably the best way to go. Building a divot style mat. Or I mean, in the States, you've got access to the Sig Pro Softy. You've got access to the what's the other? The Holy Grail hitting strip. So you've got access in the States to so many. In Australia, we don't have that access. You're paying just as much to import them as you are paying for the mat. Any thoughts on the G&G DIY launch monitor? Yes, I do. I was going to bring that up today, so thank you, Top Gun. So, yes, 100%. I have been talking to him, and there's one potentially not on the way, but very close to being on the way. So, like I said, I've been talking to Brett a fair bit. He's a good guy. He's been working hard. He's a new dad, and so hopefully it will be sent in the next week or two. Fingers crossed. We're super excited. So yeah, fingers crossed it'll be sent to me. I will definitely be doing videos on it. I've watched all your square comparison videos. My square ball speed is always slow compared to my PRGR. 8 iron usually 3 miles an hour plus. That's very slow. And the PRGR, can I just say, this thing, if you want a launch monitor that just does ball speed and club speed, get one of these. I compared it to a, what's it called? The quad, GC quad. I compared this thing to a GC quad. It was spot on, like every time. It was unreal. But yeah, that's odd. 3 miles an hour slower. That is definitely wrong. 100%. There's something up there because my square unit is pretty much bang on. The ball speeds are fantastic. So there's something going on there. I'd reach out to Square. Where did you get it from? Are you in the States? So you've reached out to Square. No response. And it's been 6 days, a little frustrated. So yeah, have you tried to reload the firmware from their website? I'd try and do that. Potentially do some troubleshooting. Yeah, try do some troubleshooting, reload the firmware and see how you go. But yeah, it shouldn't be 3 miles an hour slow. Is that consistently? If that's consistently, there's something up there. I'd reach out to SimSpace and just say, yeah, there's something up with this unit, because mine, honestly, the ball speeds, I've shown it off. They're fantastic. I compared it to the GC3. The ball speeds were incredible. Ball speeds, horizontal and vertical launch angle are just incredible. So definitely reach out to them, mate. Reload the firmware, see how you go. But I'd start that chain reaching up to SimSpace. Tomat says, your time and effort you put into this channel makes it worth being a member. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I am trying to do more member videos. I'm trying to get 1 member video out a week. That's my goal. So yeah, I value my members, and I really want them to feel like it's worthwhile being a member. Because honestly, the members, this channel doesn't make a lot of money. So the members, it makes a big difference, and it definitely motivates me. So I really, really appreciate the members. Fiber, so yeah, Spike saying get a fiber built. I've heard fiber builts are fantastic. I don't know what they like to putt on. Again, I don't have access to any of these mats, so I just made my own, and I love it. So that's what I'm doing. I wish I could send my impact strips worldwide. That'd be insane. But that's never going to happen. I have to build them all by hand, so it takes a while. And then also I need cardboard. Sorry, Jez. I will get it to you. Steve, I'm in the US but ordered from SimSpace. Joe, is club data on the square trustworthy and helpful to a high handicapper trying to improve? Look, look, the club data for me, when I tested it originally, I need to do a video on it. Time is such a big thing. I've got so many launch monitors now, and to make videos is literally, I've got family time Saturday, Sunday, I've got to play my sim rounds, film videos for the week, and then do this live. So it doesn't leave a lot of time to test launch monitors, and I do try. I've got to do a video on club data. I'll compare it to potentially the Pro T, maybe the iMini as well. I've got the iMini set up, so maybe I should chuck the square down and do some testing. 40 minutes. I mean, if there's not going to be that many questions, I could probably get the square going now with some club data. I don't have the stickers on though. I'll save it for a video. Let's save it for a video. But yeah, when I tested it, the club data seemed to be pretty good, to be honest. But I've heard a lot of people saying club data is not good. So yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to do an in-depth video testing it through the bag. Spike saying, I took my square to a full swing studio, and it was really close on everything for me. Full swing's what TGL's using. Mate, I'm telling you, it just annoys me they're using full swing. And I know why they are using full swing. They're using full swing because Tiger literally like owns a stake in the company, or is, you know, being paid by them. I'm telling you, and it really annoys me because people are going to watch that and they're going to go, oh, sim golf's not accurate. Sim golf it's fake. It's not real. It just kills me. If they used a GC Quad and GS Pro, or even if they used an iMini Lite with GS Pro, it would be far superior. It'd be way more accurate. Oh, it kills me. It absolutely kills me. Even a square. If they used a square, the distances would be more accurate. It kills me. It honestly kills me because people are going to think that it's not accurate. All right. Gerard says, sorry, just joined, but now that it's been a few months, can you do a quick review of the camo? Yes. So I had the camo hitting strip in the studio and I was using it. I loved the quality of it. It was insanely durable, and the fibers were so dense that you can actually putt off it as well. So you could putt from the right-hand side, you could hit shots from the middle, the left-hand side. I could just tell this thing was going to last like a year. Like it was going to last a long time. The fibers were quality. However, I hit down on the ball quite hard. With, you know, an 8-iron, I'm like 8 degrees down. So with my wedges, I'm like 10 degrees down. My elbows, I just couldn't do it. I had my elbow injury again after about a week or two, and so I just couldn't do it. My elbows have been beaten up because I used my T-turf originally, and it just, over a year, it just destroyed my elbows. And so it was to the point where during the day, I would just sit there in pain and I hadn't done anything. I hadn't even hit a golf ball. So I had to make an impact strip. I tried to go to the Easy T Camo, and although it's an amazing product, a fantastic product, it just hurt my elbows again. So unfortunately, I couldn't do it. So I've gone back to my hitting strip, and it forced me to update my hitting strip, and I've got new turf for it. It's unreal. I'm not going to go away from my hitting strip now. It's just too good. It's just so good. Steve says consistent. Oh, man. I've noticed it does get even slower with a DIY shank cover on it. I have the OXO food container. I haven't. Look, I've got a protective shield and stand from Gert, and I used it, and I didn't really notice ball speed differences. I can't say that I did, to be honest. But then, to be honest, I just took the shield off because I'm not going to shank it. So I just used it as a stand. I'll have to do some testing. Maybe when Spikes gets here, I'll do some testing and see if there's ball speed differences. Oh, Steve, I'd reach out to SimSpace, you know, reach out to Square, but ultimately you bought it from SimSpace, so I'd reach out to them. Stuart saying, what's your next sim improvement? So I just have, like I said, I originally got complaints from neighbors about practicing at night. So for the last, 2 years, I've just played from like 10 a.m. to roughly about 5 p.m. I didn't really hit balls later than 5 p.m. I've got family stuff on anyway. So for years, I didn't hit balls at night. I've just put a wall. And look, I've never built anything in my life like this, but I did it. In my opinion, I did a pretty good job. I got all the pine down. I cut it to the right lengths. I put the uprights in, put the noggins in, filled it with insulation, and I've just put the gyprock on. And now I've covered half of it with acoustic foam panels. And I've got to say that was a massive sim improvement for me. It took 2 days of just tinkering and trying to do it as quickly as I could, and 2 to 3 days, and I got it done. But then my sim room was a mess, so it took me about 3 days to clean it. So that was my next improvement, and I'm done now. So hopefully that's it. Next improvement, though, I don't know. I've got this sim's just, it's looking so good now. I don't think I need to really improve it. But I'm sure it never ends, does it? It never ends. There'll always be something. That's the thing with your sim. If you build it, it's a never-ending project. How often do you play real rounds? Top Gun saying, good question. I try and play, I mean, look, a handful of times a year, if I'm being honest. I played at Christmas time. I went and played Royal Adelaide. That was insane. I was lucky enough. One of my friends who I met through Sim Golf, he was a member at Royal Adelaide. So I went and played there. That was a lot of fun. I played well as well, which helped. I had a couple under. So it just shows you how good sims are getting. You can play in your sim, which I do. I've been playing on the weekends. I haven't really been playing during the week, like I said, due to noise. I'm hoping now I'll be able to at least hit balls Monday to Friday just to kind of work on my game. So yeah, not very often, not as much as I want Top Gun. Hopefully in the future, there's some exciting things coming, some really exciting things coming. So hopefully in the future, fingers crossed. At least I'd like to get out once a week. That'd be nice. Spike saying, I've tested with and sold a lot of covers. There's no difference with mine. The curved corners are causing your issues most likely. Okay, yeah, possibly. Spike's all over it, so I'd take his word for it. I like Tomat saying, I like the idea of the TGL, but my $5,000 sim in my garage is more realistic. It does hurt. It does hurt. I was talking to Spike. I agree. Tomat, honestly, like I said, you could get even a square. Get a square. Let's say, get an iMini light in your garage, and you will 100% have a more accurate experience than you do, than the guys do in TGL. If they used iMini lights, honestly, it'd be no issues. It just hurts me because I know people are going to go, Sim Golf isn't accurate just because of what they're seeing on TGL. I did see someone made a video on it. I should watch that, actually. I should make my own, potentially. Tim is saying, how is it going dialing your wedges? What's your next area of improvement to take the #1 in SGT? So Tim, quite a few things. I've been working on my game. One of them is, like I showed off, the DeWiz. So now that I actually have this wall up, I'll be able to practice at night. So I'm going to be able to practice dialing in my wedges, which that is a big point for me with getting to world #1. Wedge game, putting. That's driver has to improve as well. So I think my irons for me generally, I'm pretty good with my irons. The wedges I could always improve. Driver, I need to definitely hit it straighter and longer. So I'm working on that. I'm hitting the gym. I've been doing a little bit of speed training. Wedges for me, wedges and putting. I've got to become the Cam Smith if I want to take world #1. Hopefully now I'll be able to actually practice at night when the kids go to bed, and that'll make a big difference because it'll be going from essentially 2 days a week of practice to opening it up to the whole week, depending on what I've got on, obviously. Chris is saying, anything new to say about the Pro T? I feel like from what I've seen, it's the best out there, but it's getting any love compared. Yeah, so Chris, Pro T, let's talk about that. Thank you for bringing that up. So one of the actual topics I was going to talk about was the Pro T. So let's talk Pro T for a little bit. I have done some testing with the Pro T, and first off, before I say this, I've reached out to them. I've spoken to Dennis, really nice guy. The team at Pro T are fantastic. Now, the Pro T, from what they've said, as always, this unit does not dimple track. What that means is this unit is not going to lock onto individual dimples on the golf ball. That's a cracked golf ball. I picked up a cracked golf. I'm going to have to throw this away. So the unit does not pick up on the actual dimples on the golf ball. The Pro T needs something to lock onto. So it needs, say, a logo on the ball, a Titleist logo. It needs some sort of marking on the golf ball to lock onto. If it doesn't have that, then if it's just a plain white ball, or if it's a, a logo that's worn down like this one, and I used this in my testing the other day because I tried to wear the logo down, and I've got a bunch of old golf balls that I use. If the logo is worn down and it's not facing the unit, and I did a lot of testing, and if you try and hit a snap hook, I'm very good at hitting snap hooks, the actual golf ball won't snap hook. It'll basically start left, and it'll actually, I was getting like a baby fade. So the unit needs something to lock onto. I have done lots of testing. I've spoken to Proti about this, and Dennis said that what did he say? Let me get the email up. He said it's the first he's heard of it, and he's going to look into it, essentially. Words to the effect of. And he said, so yeah, I'm going to do some testing for them. And he said, we actually want to know about that sort of thing because they want to actually fix the issues with the Proti. But I guess at the end of the day, the Proti, I love it. I use Pix balls, so it's absolutely no issues for me because there's so many markings on those golf balls. When I use a Pix ball, I compared it to the GC3. Funnily enough, the GC3 actually went slightly straighter by like 100, 200 RPMs. But if the Proti doesn't have something to lock onto, it struggles with getting spin axis. It does get it sometimes, it doesn't get it other times. It's just the technology. That's the technology you're using. So Proti are going to make that, they're in the works now with making their own connector for GS Pro. And what I'm going to say to Dennis is they need to put something in that connector that basically disregards shots where the Proti hasn't locked onto something. So if the Proti doesn't lock onto a logo, if you want to use, normal golf balls without, Pix golf balls, or for me, if I'm going to use Titleist golf balls, I would personally just buy the RPT balls to use with the Proti because there's dots on there. It'll pick up on those dots. If you don't want to do that, if you want to use just normal golf balls with a logo on it, I think there needs to be something in the connector for GS Pro that goes, hey, from the Proti, I didn't pick up on a logo. I didn't pick up on anything. Don't use this shot in GS Pro. And I think that's what the guys that are running the SGT money matches ultimately want. So I don't blame the guys who run the SGT matches, the money matches. Whichever launch monitors they want to use is their prerogative. That's their thing. But for me, I think with the connector for Proti, there needs to be something in there that disregards shots where it hasn't captured spin axis. Okay, that was another TED Talk. I have done testing with a normal golf ball like you've seen with the Proti. It picks up on spin axis fine as long as the logo's on there. And I just rolled the ball into the hitting area and I was just hitting shots. So as long as the logo is visible on the Proti, it'll pick up the spin. It'll pick up the spin axis. The issue is when you get a worn golf ball where the logo's been worn off, or if someone wanted to cheat, get sandpaper and take the logos off, get a plain white golf ball, that's where Proti is going to struggle with spin and spin axis because they are not dimple tracking. They need something on the ball. Right. So yeah, Chris, I love the Proti. I think it's fantastic. The overhead video is insane. I love it. I'm going to keep using it. I think it's an amazing machine. Glenn is saying, hi, Joe, you're a legend. You're a legend, mate. Thanks for joining in. What time is it where you are? It must be midnight, surely. Midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning? Thanks for joining in on the live. Steve said, I've reached out to SimSpace and Square. No response. That is not acceptable. They should be getting back to you. Yeah, that's not cool. This is why, like, you've got to be careful. And I know it's so hard because you don't have access to a lot of places where you can buy the Square in the States. But if you buy it from, an actual reputable company, and I'm not saying SimSpace isn't, they maybe just missed their email or something, but yeah, that's not acceptable. I know that would never happen with Sam at Bayside. He's so quick to get back to people. If they've got issues, he's getting back to them straight away. I haven't heard of it reading ball speed low. And like I said, Sam's, how many has he sold now? Probably about 100 squares, and I don't think he's had one that's read ball speed incorrectly. So Glenn's saying it's 1 a.m. in rainy Belfast. Oh, thanks. Thank you so much for joining in. And I look, these lives, I did say I was going to change the timings, and I will. I'll try and adjust the timing so people in the UK don't have to stay up till 1 in the morning. But yeah, thanks for staying up. That means a lot. Do you have more sim software? Let me scroll back up. Stuart's saying, do you have more sim software? My support running on Apple, likely Skytrack Plus. Yeah, so if you want to run things on Apple, it's going to have to be the Skytrack, I believe. I don't think E6, I don't think is on Apple. Now, you can, a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, some people actually run GS Pro on Apple, but they use it used to be called Boot Camp, I think, where you can boot up Windows in Apple. So there are people doing that, and it seems to work. So you should look into it. I'm not really an Apple. I say I'm not an Apple person, but I literally just bought an iPhone. I've got an iPad Pro, and I've just bought one of those new Mac M4s to edit on. So I guess I am a Mac person, but yeah. In terms of software, you run GS Pro, just do boot camps or parallels or whatever it's called. Look on some of the Facebook groups and just use the search function and just type in Apple, and you'll get the software that they use. Paul is an absolute legend. He did so much work for the MLM2 Pro connector with Springbok. He helps out a lot. So thank you, Paul, for all your efforts that you put in. He said, I'm very happy with the iMini Lite based on your reviews. Full swing on TGL seems disappointing so far. Yeah, I agree, Paul. It's just, yeah, iMini Lite is, I mean, I've only got the iMini, but I've heard really good things from the iMini Lite, and just, yeah. Sam from Bayside, he can't advertise that he sells them. He literally buys those at no discount and sells them to his customers just because it's an amazing product, and he knows that. So if Unicor are watching this, can you please reach out to us? We want to sell Unicor in Australia. Tomat is saying, I do have an iMini Lite thanks to watching your iMini videos, and I love it. Yeah, I just played the Tips Tour round 1. Not the best golf. I finished strong, but the iMini, it performed just incredible. Honestly, this is the device I wanted from launch. This unit right now is, I'm going to say it, this is going to be so controversial. It's as good as a GC3. I said it. There you go. Live. I can't take that back now. It is honestly performing incredible. Absolutely incredible. So, yeah, I love it. Another Pro T question from John. Just started mine and loving it. I haven't been hitting my driver great, but with the space I have behind me, I've put the ball up in the area. Have you noticed any misreads from the forward of the hitting zone on your Pro T? No, I can't say I have. I haven't. Potentially do another calibration. Do the calibration and then try and. What I do is I adjust mine to my hitting strip, so mine's perfectly adjusted to fit my hitting strip. Having said that, I don't generally play it right off the actual front of the hitting zone. I'm generally, with driver, I'm a good, what's that, about 6 inches back? 6 inches back, call it, from the front of the hitting strip. So I haven't maxed it out yet. I haven't put it all the way forward. Potentially you might need to just mount the unit slightly further away if you're seeing any issues. Several people have been complaining about square support from Paul. That is really interesting. So yeah, I mean, look, if you live in Australia, reach out to Sam, reach out to me and we can help you. It's always best to reach out to Sam because he's Bayside and he sells them. He can always refer you up the chain to Square. So definitely reach out if you live in Australia. If you don't live in Australia, hey, I'm sorry, you're at the mercy of the place you brought it from. Jonathan saying a launch monitor will humble people very quickly. You are absolutely right. They are, yes, they will humble people very quickly. You are right. I think a lot of things though, I think the reason launch monitors humble people is if you play outside, the ground's firm. I know here in Australia, especially with my old man, he plays outside like every day. He's retired. He's loving life. He gets so much run on the golf ball. When he comes in this sim, a lot of sim golf is based on carry distances. And so because he's not carrying it the distance required, and he's not getting the run out in the sim world, he hits it a lot shorter. And so I think that's a big reason as well, is outside, potentially where you play, you might be getting, say, 20, 30, 40 yards of run, where inside you're getting 10. And so it's a massive difference. Yeah, so Spike saying Square support in the US is really slow compared to the UK site. What's that? Ida Golfo. Ida Golfo is saying, hey, what's up? Good to see you in the live. Thanks for joining in. I always appreciate everybody joining in. We do this once a week. I would love to start doing some record breakers series where I play golf and try and break some course records, but honestly, it's just time. I work Monday to Friday at my job. I get to work 7:45. I leave at 5. So it's tough. It's a tough life trying to play golf and have a YouTube channel when you're working full time. So it is what it is. I'll try and get some rounds in. Hopefully with the wall, I'll be able to play at night. Fingers crossed. Spike saying this guy at full swing was complaining about the distance they told him. It was his loft that was the issue all day long. Lack of talent. I had to turn quick on that one. Yeah, that's it. A lot of people, they're quick to blame the launch monitor, but yeah. Sim is saying I have the fiber built grass mat because of the elbow injuries, but definitely very forgiving. What insert are you using? I'm using my impact strip. So I built my own impact strip. If you live in Australia and you really want one, I've sent a few out to people just to test. I've had good reports. I've got to send Jez his. Again, sorry it's been so long. I made this impact strip like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And because I work all week, I need to get some cardboard. So I need to get some cardboard and send it to him. But if you live in Australia and you're after an impact strip, I could potentially build you one. There will be a cost associated. So yeah, let me know. I always leave in the comments, in the description, sorry, of all my videos now, I leave links to everything that I have and also my email address if you're interested in my impact strip. I get a lot of emails come through. I have so many emails and I'm sorry for not getting back to people. But man, the amount of messages, and I love getting all the messages and emails, but it's tough to get back to people, to get back to everyone working full-time, having a family. I always say the best place is the Facebook group. Drop your comments in the Facebook group. There's so many people there that can help you, knowledgeable people. Ask questions in the Facebook group. Yeah, and that's another thing. Each mat is going to affect, turf interaction is going to affect ball flight and it's going to affect spin. So Spike's absolutely right. I don't think I had any questions in the Facebook group. I put in there that I was going to do the live. Let me check. I think there was one question maybe. Oh yeah, so Sean, yeah, he asked about the Pro T being banned. We've talked Pro T to death. I think it's interesting, the Pro T, because look, there's other launch monitors that need marked balls as well. Like I think, what's the Unicorn one? The QED, I think it is. I mean, I wonder what happens on the QED if you hit a normal golf ball. Is it going to go dead straight? I'd love to do some testing, because if they're going to start looking at banning Pro T, then potentially they need to look at other launch monitors as well. All right, let's do course of the week. It's course of the week time. So new segment, course of the week. The questions have slowed down, so let's do course of the week. Right, let me change cameras. Look at that. It's worked absolutely seamlessly. Let's do course of the week. This week, there were so many courses that were put out on GS Pro. It was incredible. Trying to keep up with all of them is just nuts. I do download every single course that comes to GS Pro. I've just downloaded a lot of them. I've got an error there for one of the betas. What is that? Oh, you're kidding. They've put Newmarket Raisin on there. I need that course. Neil has made... So I used to... A lot of... Before I do course of the week, story time. So I am originally from the UK. I was born in Scunthorpe, born in sunny Scunny, and Market Raisin is, if I remember correctly, I used to go to the races with my uncle. So he was madly into horse racing. He actually owned a bookie shop in the UK, in Scunthorpe. It was in Brigg. In Brigg, he owned a betting shop there. Now, we used to go to Market Raisin, which was a racetrack, and we used to bet on the horses and just have fun growing up. If that course... Because at Market Raisin, I believe there was the actual golf course inside the racetrack, and we used to look at it. And if that is the course that I'm thinking of, I cannot wait to play that course. What a small world. What a small world. Let's go Market Raisin. Market Raisin races. Take me to Google Maps. If that is honestly the golf course there. Might not be Market Raisin. Maybe it wasn't Market. No, it was. I swear it was. Yes, I think it is. All right. I'm going to investigate that later. Course of the week. Right. This week, we had so many courses and so many beta courses come out. But for me, the one that stood out, it has to be DPC Spyglass Hill by Greg McDonald. Greg is one of my favorite designers. He's built my favorite course on GS Pro, which is Lofferton. And I've got to say, this course is just unreal. Let's check this out. Let's go holes. Let's just do... What's the hole McElroy made a hole in one on? Was it hole 3? I can't remember. Let's just go hole 18, hole 17, and we'll go play it. Still in beta, but I just want to show this off. This is course of the week, according to me. There's so many courses, though. I haven't checked them all out, like I said. So if you like a different course, then let me know. Put it in the comment section. Glenn saying... Dan Royal Golf Course in Northern Ireland has a golf course inside the racehorse track. Yeah. Okay. We need Royal County Downs, Royal Portrush. We need these courses on GS Pro. We need LiDAR data. What's exciting is, while that loads, let's go back to the big screen. So if you're on the Facebook group, the winner of Season 1, the league, Season 2's underway. Start playing the league, Season 2. Season 1. The winner of the actual net season-long race got a golf course of their choice built on GS Pro. That was the prize. We've now figured out which course is going to be built. We've bought some LiDAR data. This is super exciting. We actually bought... I didn't. I chipped in for it. We've had this massive thing where we're actually chipping in for this LiDAR data. So let me pull it up now. There's been a few people donated, and I really appreciate all the donations. So Blake's the one organising it also. Blake was the one who actually won the race to Scotland. So Blake won. He's chosen the national golf course, the old course. So in Melbourne on the Sandbelt, it just has some insane looking golf courses, like seriously nice golf courses. Some of my favourite in the world are there. However, there's not LiDAR data. So what Blake did is he did a bit of a search, and he found that you can actually purchase LiDAR data. He is in the process of purchasing it now, and we're going to get one of the best looking golf courses, I think, on GS Pro soon to be built by Scott. And I think Greg's going to help him as well. So if you're not part of the Facebook group, join in, because it's really cool. There's a lot of amazing people there. Right. Stuart saying, love your channel, Joe. Putting in an order with Bayside this week for a square, medium wide enclosure, easy T camo strip. Mate, honestly, you've made the best decision. I mean, look, I can't say, I've got to be very careful what I say. There are other companies, there are other people to buy launch monitors from, enclosures from in Australia that you will get and you will be very disappointed. Let's just leave it at that. I think Bayside, and this is why I partnered with Sam and with Bayside, is because I believe in the products. I've seen them and I used them and I believe in the products. You will not be disappointed. The enclosure is amazing. The actual hitting screen is so durable. It's insane. It's the most durable screen I've used, and I'm not just saying that. I had impact strips in front of my old setup because I was scared about durability. This thing is so good. You will not be disappointed, Stuart. You made a really good choice. Excuse me. Right, course of the week, before I get back to those comments, because we've got 10 minutes left. Check this out. DPC Spyglass. How good does this look? I mean, come on. I get so excited by things like this. Let's check the lighting. We'll do some different clouds. Let's get cloud 4. What does that look like? Cloud 2. What I love about GS Pro is you can actually make it rain as well. Let's go cloud. I think cloud 3 probably did actually look the best. Right. Check this out. Look at the trees. So what I love about Greg and about these designers now is they're actually looking at the actual species of the trees that are out there that are actually at the course, and they're buying these assets to then use them on the actual course in GS Pro. They're not just putting in generic trees. Let's go into free flight mode. We'll hit F5. I mean, just look at this. How good does this look? It's just unreal. We'll go up by the green. We'll just have a look up here. Look at that tree. I bet you if I pulled up the course and we did a comparison, those trees would be very similar. He's done such a good job on this. Now, there were a few courses I saw this week that were in the running, but to me, this one takes it. It just takes it. It's just special. Let's check out hole 18 real quick. Oh, I've gone into local match, haven't I? It was silly of me. I should have done practice on course. Shot options, concede. Right, 18th. 18th hole, check that out. Greg's in the chat. We got Greg. He's in the live. Greg, you have won the inaugural, the first course of the week on the Sunday lives. So be proud of yourself. I don't have a trophy, sorry, but you've won course of the week. Well done. I'll tell you what, I'll send you a sticker. I'll send you a Joe Lagowski golf sticker if you want, mate. I'll send you a couple of these. No, honestly, course of the week, definitely go play DPC Spyglass. It currently is in beta. I don't know when it's going to be released. Greg, when is it releasing soon, officially? He's done a bit of work on it. But this course is unreal. Let's go free flight mode again. Straight to the trophy room. I mean, this is why I support these designers. I'm subscribed to so many Patreons now because they spend money on these assets. So they're spending money on these trees. So then it looks exactly like the course does. I should try and find, let me see if I can find the 18th at Spyglass. 18th T. Let me see if there's an image of the 18th tee. I don't think there is. I don't think there is. I'll have to do that. I'll have to try and find, when I do the course playthrough video, I'll put up some pictures as I always do, but man, this is just something special, isn't it? What an amazing course. Check that out. I mean, it just looks so good. Clubhouse there. I actually have filmed the video. I played this course with the Garmin R50 the other day. So I will be showing off 18 holes. Okay, cool. So Greg said he submitted the course and he's just waiting for approval. So it should be out of beta very quickly. Have you tried Pacific GC Queensland? I haven't played that yet, but I have played it in real life. I'm trying to remember that. I know I've played that course in real life. Practice, on-course practice. Yes, I 100% have played Pacific in real life. And Pacific Harbour. POB, hey, Scott made Pacific Harbour. I didn't know that. On the sunny coast. That's pretty cool. What's another course that came out this week? An honourable mention. I think I saw, was it Tauhee Golf Club? I think that was a good one as well. There's just so many courses now coming to GS Pro. Treasure Island. That sounds like fun. My kids would probably like that. Yeah, there's a lot of courses now coming. So many new designers. Okay. So that was course of the week. And yeah, we'll see what next week brings. I should actually check out another course while we're waiting. If you've got any questions, anything to ask, definitely let me know now. We'll wrap this up in about 3 or 4 minutes. I've got videos to film. And I've got to play Tips Tour round 2 as well. Let's load up. I think Tauhee was a good one. Let's go play this. Let's just go check this out. What else? Let me see if I've covered off everything I was going to cover off in this live. I will try and put up the live information in the Facebook group, what I'm going to be talking about. And then also, if anyone's got any questions and they want to get in early, leave your comments in there as well. I have touched on this. This is definitely coming to the channel, so stay tuned. Hopefully, Brett will send me that. Fingers crossed in the next week or two. Fingers crossed. Done course of the week. Talked about the Garmin. And we talked about the Pro T. It's going to be interesting how the SGT go with Open API, whether they're going to ban them from even the SGT events. That'd be a shame. But I think with units like the Square, if you can use the swing stick, then potentially they should ban that. Right, Mark is saying you may have already answered this already, but what launch monitor would you recommend? I'm thinking of trading my R50. If you're thinking of trading your R50, first off, thank you for the support of being a member. I really appreciate that. If you're going to trade in your R50, are you in Australia or America, Mark? I can't remember. If you're thinking of selling your R50 and you're looking for something around the same price, I can't speak highly enough of the iMini. I mean, it is just performing and it's unreal. I played 18 holes with it just before. It's a fantastic device. I do think the R50 also, though, is a fantastic device. I just think with putting, I think there's room for improvement. I know I'm going to cop a lot of heat in the comments of my video saying it's had incorrect horizontal launch angle. If you weren't at the start of this live, go back to the start of the live. I talk about my thoughts on horizontal launch angle. I think it should be coming directly from the putter face, not having influence from the the mat. So yeah, Garmin R50 I think is only going to get better and better, and I do think it's an amazing device, but I think they need to still just work on putting a little bit. But if you need something that you want to perform right now, then yeah, iMini. I haven't tried the iMini Lite. I've heard amazing things, but if you want something that's portable, iMini is honestly amazing right now. Take it easy, Glenn. Thanks for staying. It must be about 2 a.m. there. That's crazy. Have a good night or morning. Get some sleep. Dale, thank you for being a member. I really appreciate it. Love it, Joe. Can't always watch with the fly in, fly out, but I try and catch up as much as possible. Yeah, thank you. FIFO would be tough. It'd be tough. The weeks off would be good. Greg saying, I love my iMini Lite, but if I had my time again, I'd get the iMini with no cords. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing. No cords is a good thing. What I do is I've just tucked my cords under my mat. So although I have my charge cable there for the iMini, it's under my mat. So realistically, if I was going to build this sim room again, or if I cared, I've actually got some like foam mats underneath my turf. I'd just cut a channel into those foam mats, and I'd just have the cables running through that, and then the turf would lay on top, so you wouldn't even notice the cords there. But yeah, no cords is always preferable. I guess if you have a sim setup that you're moving the unit in and out of, that would honestly get annoying. So yeah, I can see that. Tomat, thank you again, mate. Another member, really appreciate it. Next week should be good. We'll try and you know, you never know what we could get next week. We could have some new launch monitors if Brett sends the version 2 Express. BMAC, this will probably be the last question. Afraid to spend money. Afraid to spend the money on an enclosure for the garage. Any hesitation around net cages that come with a cheaper screen in front of the net? So, I don't know if you caught last week's episode of SimWorld. So Sam was co-hosting. Bayside, I don't know where you live, whether you live in America or Australia. If you live in Australia, Bayside is making their own net. So stay tuned for that. The thing with nets in front of, screens in front of nets, they're never going to sit perfect. You know, for me, I like seeing a screen that sits flat. And if you have a net that has a screen in front of it, you can do it. A lot of people do it. And look, the Spawnia net's fantastic. They have the screen that comes down. I think Net Return has one that you can put a screen on. They're never going to sit perfect. I think the experience and the immersiveness you get from an enclosure is far superior. It's far superior. But you can get away with a net and hanging a screen in front of it. You can do it. It's just immersiveness. It's not going to be the same. BMAC, as Flossie Carter says, you got to pay to play. You got to pay to play. I've had nets and screens. They just never sit perfect. You can do it. What I'd say is I can almost guarantee if you do that, you will get an enclosure later on down the track. So just bite the bullet, mate. Bite the bullet. Get it early. Don't pay twice. Okay, that is going to do it for this episode of SimWorld. Thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate it. If you've got any comments or questions from today's episode, then leave them in the comment section of this video. And yeah, I really appreciate everybody joining in. And I will catch you guys next week.